school. Well, I can talk to you.
Okay.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Marcy, just give me a roll call just because I want one.
Sure, John? Here. Jeff?
Here.
Brian?
Here.
Justin?
Here.
Lexi? Here.
There we go.
Stacy, Dean, Mike, Annette, Marcy. Yep, we're here.
Russ.
Russ.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Mr.
I don't
count.
Mr. Mayor. Not a problem, sir. I'm out of here. All right, we got up first, agenda for,
The 13th.
We have information from Mr. Kearns on the benefit policy renewal stuff.
Yeah, it's out there
before-
already. Yep.
I can't
Pardon me? It's in draft form right now. I'll go ahead and make a note, send it to you tomorrow.
We can sleep in one.
You can look at a draft, can't you?
Some can sleep.
If you log in and then on the drop down for
Switch it
meetings,
from-
switch it from active to draft.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and send that out to all of you, okay?
That would be. And then on that agenda, it says planning and zoning recommendation. Is that about,
Fencing,
okay.
yeah,
that's the recommendation.
some
They
amendments to the language. Yes, we met Monday night. It was a great meeting.
Any preview?
Robin was there. Yeah,
Nice.
we started the future land use map and we realized that there was a bunch of information that is coming in, not only from the housing study, but from the community heart and soul that we want to take into consideration
Yeah,
because
good.
this is what the constituents want. I mean, we're
Right.
putting the roadmap out there, but we have to make sure this is something that everybody agrees upon. So it was a fantastic discussion.
Good.
And then, of course, we talked about the fences.
Any other questions on the May 13th agenda? '27?
Margie, can you mute them?
Mhm.
Thank you.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I was like chirping.
Wow.
No, wait, I know it's crazy.
I really want to keep this a light agenda because I'm back from vacation after being off for 10 days. So I will not have a phone and I will not have a laptop and I will be twitching the whole time.
The internal controls discussion post audit. It's that kind of an internal control.
It's more just updating our own policies and setting our own policies. Both of those items they may not be ready by then.
Okay.
We're still kind of going through.
We started those like a long time ago.
Procedures or
Yep, internal controls yep, like who handles what.
accounting and.
Yep, and then the fund policy is more about how much funds should we have set aside in reserves and things like that.
Okay.
That we already have, we're updating that one. The internal controls is more of a new thing.
Yeah.
So I just keep on copying it forward as we. talk.
So yeah, it may get moved to
Review it.
June.
Yeah, more than likely it'll get moved to June.
And speed.
So it really shouldn't be too much. Might be a couple other things, but probably not until June.
All right. You, department head discussion. Who'd like to go first?
Okay,
Okay.
so, this month, we're gonna do the bike rodeo, May 31st. I don't know if you guys saw that or not on our website or on the Facebook page, but we're gonna do our second annual, bike rodeo. That's where we give out the free helmets, the kids in need, the bike maintenance station, and, they do an obstacle course. And that's where it's free for everybody to attend, but the Optimists help us with that. So I set it up, Optimists come that day and help us out. So that's great.
Yeah.
I think it's a great event. Hopefully a lot show. So we can give out some helmets to some kids. Also, I'll Run the Raise Run is on May 17th. Just that's an FYI for you guys that we'll have to block some streets. We're gonna have to do the old route. We can't do the new route where I wanted to go out Adrena, Cox Springs area out there. Because of the construction off of Juliana. It just doesn't work. So we'll have to do the old route. So traffic will be blocked from 8:45 to 10:30 a.m., maybe 11. It just depends on the slowest walker.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, but
That's why I'm not participating.
well, thank you.
It'll go faster this year.
That's right. And then just a little bit of info, we have that prescription drug box. In the last year, we just had the Dubuque Drug Task Force take the, what happens with the stuff that they incinerate it for us. They take it to an incinerator. So we took in 130 pounds approximately, which is quite a bit. I mean, for our little town or whatever, it's a decent sized town, however you want to see it, that's still a lot of prescription drugs that, people just bring it in. So, yep. And the other thing I had is, and these are going to be on my report also, but I did receive the grant. I was approved for my grant for the GTSB grant. That's what we get usually every year. I asked for 9,800 if you remember, but we actually ended up getting 6,800, which is still more than what we've had the previous years. And this has been because lack of funding. They say basically it's just everything's gone down for funding wise. But we got 6,800 and that means 4,500 in the general enforcement for overtime, impaired enforcement's 1,500. And then a new PBT is 400 and another 400 for some, what they call drunk goggles. So we can go do classes and teach that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep. And that's going to be all donated. So we got 6,800 out of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's all I got for it.
All right.
Mike, I have a question.
Yep.
Adrena Drive, can I ask a question? Sorry.
Yeah.
Adrena Drive between Leslie and Cox Springs. I'm starting to see more and more cars parked on the north side of the road.
So-
Is that the plan?
Yeah, they can be.
Okay.
So
The
they
plan-
can't just be parked by the apartments. It starts, right where the turn to go toward Dean's well house area.
Yep.
That's where the sign starts, right just after that.
Right.
And it goes to all the way up Adrena.
Okay, so
So
is
we
it,
wanted not to affect the residential area when we put those signs up or when we agreed to that. So they can still park on the road.
so the idea will be, it'll be a normal city street.
It'll
People
be a
can
normal
park on
city
both
street.
sides of it unless
Correct.
it's marked.
Correct.
Okay. That was just.
Unless you want
curious.
something changed, then
No,
we can
I'm
look at
just-
that.
It was nice when it was empty, but I guess now that, we're gonna have something else, built to the north of there eventually.
Right,
So it's
yeah.
gonna be.
And if it becomes a problem, maybe we have to do something with it, eventually, but we wanted to try to keep that street open for the residential people to park on the street right there, since the apartments had places to park in their respective lots, in the apartment lots, but we wanted to try to let the residentials have parking on the street. That's why it's parking on both
Well,
sides.
yeah, it's gotta be apartment residents that are parking there because it's on the opposite side,
Mhm.
straight across from the apartments. And I was like, that was the other thought in my head was, do we not have enough parking in the apartments for the people that live there?
There could be.
And I've driven through there a couple times. There's plenty of slots. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure what the thing is. But
So we're adding more,
Probably live.
Glass door,
and
right?
go in the sliding door and just.
so we've added more signs, or Dean's gonna add one more sign for no parking on the south. That's going up soon,
Okay.
right? I mean, you're waiting for cement to dry, right?
No, it's just a matter of time of getting it up.
Gotcha.
The base is put in, it's been put in for a couple of weeks now, we just never got over there to put the sign in.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're allowed to park on the north side. Yeah. And that is equivalent with what happens on Thunder Valley Drive up there also. The parking is on the side of Dartbird.
On
They can
one
park on
side.
that side, they can't park on the south side.
Okay,
So that's why we kept it all the same.
that makes sense.
Mhm.
Thank you.
This also has been discussion that we've had in our department meetings about the fact that maybe the stalls that are available for apartments and the parking stalls need to be increased.
Yeah.
Instead of 1.5 per unit, probably 2 at a minimum.
I think that.
But you went through and said there was plenty of spots, right?
Yeah, a couple times I've peeked in there, different times of the day when I'm driving by, just drive through. In the evening, there've even been
Yeah,
spots.
if you're talking the
So
north
it's
side of
probably a
Adrena,
convenience.
right in
Yeah,
front of the apartments, those are people that
yeah.
live in the apartments,
It's
they park on that
convenient.
side, but it's legal on that side.
At some point it'll be like Bryn where it's parked on both sides.
Right, and it's just one road, and
Yeah,
we don't want that.
We don't have a parking problem. We have a walking.
that's right. Yeah. Thanks, appreciate the update.
Good to Mike. All right. Stacy.
I guess a couple of projects going on. The track is being done. This week it started on Monday. Taking out, removing the current flooring has been, I think, the biggest hurdle. It's definitely stuck on there well. And so they said it'd move faster once they get kind of all that done. They're working on removing all the adhesive now. All the new flooring is right outside the door. So they have it here ready to go once they get that adhesive up. And they said it'll move a little faster after that. It's still slated around Monday or Tuesday to open back up. So hopefully that's good. It turned out to be a gorgeous week, so hopefully that continues. So whether people are walking outside, we do have people walking around the gym. And we have opened the banquet room like during the day if people want to walk at that time. So we try to do what we can to still accommodate people, but
Nice.
yeah, so that is underway. And then the port in place rubber surfacing for the playground did get installed last Thursday and Friday. Public Works backfilled yesterday. So we haven't officially opened it, but
It's ready to go.
it's open. Still have to work on seating and such, but yeah, so that is ready.
Awesome.
So it'll be good. I'm working on a intro. I want to put it out there that it's open, but also I'm just some type of started a fundraiser campaign, but more awareness, Kelly Oaks Park, whatever. We're gonna start with a scavenger hunt to try to get people out there and try to get people excited about different activities that can happen in the park. So it's a work in progress, but soon to come, hopefully. So another step. From there, just baseball, softball, weddings, everything's in full speed ahead for summer mode and we're moving.
Stacy, have we heard anything since our parks meeting from the disc golf guy?
I haven't,
It's gonna
so
come
Todd
well.
has been the contact. Every time I talk to him, he keeps saying
Good.
that we're on the list. He's waiting to hear for them to come out. So I don't know what else. I think he wants jumping at the bit as well. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure what,
It's spring
Or-
now and people
yeah,
are
there's
asking.
a way to,
Yeah.
get that a little faster, but no,
Okay.
I have not.
Sure thing. Been super busy and I can foresee the way. Crazy busy summer, just going every direction, trying to keep our heads above water, but, between the two construction sites, putting eyeballs on them and, maintain wastewater plant, and other little things that just pop up on a day-to-day basis. I mean, it's just been crazy busy. So don't be afraid to shout out if something that anybody notices or sees that doesn't get attended to. Notify us, no hard feelings. Can't make all the areas every day, so I mean, there are some things that kind of get slid by. One thing that I would like to ask and also thank is the Western Dubuque school kids that actually came and helped clean up the park for us. I mean, that was
Nice.
amazing. They did a super job out there. And my ask would be, I guess, throughout, anybody that, uses the areas, just respect the areas and, keep them clean. We try our best, we do our best, but, we can't make it to these areas every day, so the help is much appreciated. So, do notice a lot more people using the trail out there.
Nice.
A lot of requests for the playground to be opened up, so it's gonna be exciting to see the amount of people out there, based upon the fire station playground, how it gets used and the abundance of people that's out there. Also, thank you to Austin for allowing us to use the dumpsters out at the park the day of the cleanup. We took 5 of the dumpsters out there, worked out very well. Super great. Yep, so thank you.
Thank you.
Construction projects, between north of town, the residential area, and east of town. On both residential sites, I'll try to keep you up to date, give you a brief update on the monthly reports, going forward. So, looks like some things are starting to move up north. Probably making a little more progress on the east side of town there. Had a little bit of delay waiting for the gas line inspections and stuff and such, but starting to make headway on both ends, so. Cool. Yep, great asset to the city. All I have.
More rooftops,
Rooftops.
right?
So this is probably a poorly timed question because you guys are going into your busier season. But are any of your folks working on getting any type of certifications and whatnot?
John, it's been so crazy busy. It's hard just to focus on items like that. I mean, Matt's pretty much tied up every day out at the wastewater plant. That leaves Robbie and I to try to take care of water, streets, parks, everything else that's going on. I mean, yeah, I mean, the time would be valued if we had it to put toward that. But it's just been insanely busy and hard to focus on such things.
Thanks, Dean.
Thank you.
Leader sanitation, often is here to talk to us.
Yes. So you guys just had town cleanup 2 weeks ago. You had 21 ton worth of material that we collected, 12 appliances, 34 TVs, and 7 car tires. So it was a successful cleanup. Everything went smooth. Worked out great. We like to blow through them, get them done, get them cleaned up as quick as we can, get the town looking great again. The other thing that I'd like to talk about is, I mentioned it 3 or 4 months ago, in the council meeting. Said my piece about looking to start at 6 AM. Okay, so how it would work would be the first 100 homes of the route, which would be pretty much Birds Road here and around the school and the community center too, because there's drop off there. So if we can be out of this area before 7, it's just gonna be better for us. I think the community, the school district. We did it 2 years ago in Epworth. We started at 6. They were also a 7 o'clock start. We bumped them up to 6 o'clock, and it's because of the high school. You know, buses, kids walking, kids driving, and the less that we're around that, the better off we are. How it would work, we would notify the residents in parts of town where we're gonna start right away with reminders. We have label makers and stuff. And our guys would just place those on the lids of these cans, the trash and recycling cans. So that way it prevents, City Hall's still gonna get a couple, you know, questions and whatnot, but it prevents 90% of that. But that's what we really would like to see, as it got brought up 5 minutes ago, more roofs, more garbage pickup. But that's awesome. So you guys are blowing up and it's great. But I'm just hoping you guys will work with us too.
So last time you spoke, you also said you have to be in and out of the
Landfill,
landfills.
yes. So the landfill, they close at 3:30. They do not accept any loads even 10 to 3:30 or 3:20, I should say. So that's because they need to have time to close up the cell where we dump garbage. Because they have to cover that every night. 1, so you don't have birds picking up stuff. 2, wind, you don't want wind blowing litter all over the landfill. And 3, to try to prevent any landfill fires. So, it's very crucial for us to be there, you know, in an orderly fashion. Just, you know, those handful of days where it's windy, takes longer for our guys to go around and pick up the totes, try to pick up all the trash that's blowing around. You know, we do our best. I hope you guys think that too. But, wind sucks.
Yep.
What's that? We don't have.
This is the windiest.
Do not, yeah.
Yeah, no, the wind cannot.
What time are you typically at the landfill?
Right now with Piasta, it's pushing 2:45 with our trucks. And I foresee it getting later as soon as, you know, these developments start blowing up and houses are bang, bang, bang like they were over by Darkbird and that, you know, I mean, it's awesome. But it'd be huge. And I know noise ordinance, you know, I look at it, we're working for you, you know? In my opinion, I don't feel we're any different than a city plow truck. Plus, we're quieter. But, could be wrong, but that's how I feel. We do, like I said, we do it in Epworth, and it works fantastic. Farley, Manchester, you know, Manchester's 6 o'clock too. We're right around that school, Western Dubuque High School, just getting it done, getting out of there, getting out of everybody's way. But, yeah,
So let me ask you this, is there a point in time that if we keep exploding, growing like we do, that you'll come back in front of us 3 years, 4 years down the road that says, now I need to be in by 5?
no, you guys, I think that extra hour is gonna do a lot of good. I mean, I really do. I think that extra hour is gonna help out quite a bit. Just because nobody's really out and about from 6 to 7:30, you know, 6 to 7:15. So that helps too, you know, we don't have to be waiting for cars as long, you know, we still obviously, you know, abide all traffic laws and whatnot, but no, I do not foresee that.
Austin, do you know roughly what time that would put you over, say like at Royal Oaks? Cause I know that there's a relatively big bus stop that someone voices a concern of going earlier, that a lot of kids kind of congregate, they're kind
Is
of.
the bus stop like, we're at Royal Oaks?
If you turn right onto Royal Oaks Drive, I think it's just right down there.
It's on the
Real
corner,
Oaks,
there's
another drive, yeah.
Royal Oaks and.
Or Cassandra, I mean, sorry.
Cassandra, so that's the first road that.
It is the first road, yeah.
We can,
Oh, is it on Heather? I'm sorry, it's on Heather.
It's on Heather.
Pushing it back puts those kids standing outside at 7:15, 7:30 in the morning.
and we can go somewhere else,
Okay.
you know, I mean, we can knock out this section here. Right around here, and then we can go that way, you know,
Can we get a list of where the bus stops are at?
is that just
I
one
know
really
that
big one, or?
That's a large one. Someone, another staff
Right.
person was concerned because they live over there.
Yeah,
And they said, well, those kids are kind of in
I
this
have a huge
halfway.
one right in front of my place too.
Right, it's right
Yeah.
there.
There's like 4
Is there?
Yeah.
I mean, we can avoid all those too,
We can get you a list of stops and like roughly what time they're picked up there.
yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
7:45.
no. But,
Daughter's on that route.
so, I hope I'm not asking for a lot, I just trying to make things easier,
Do you know, Austin, what time the drivers are coming to town now? I know we're saying it's 7 o'clock, but the drivers are here before 7.
Yeah, they're here now. But they're here now like 6:45. They're doing some stuff.
You're here at 6:30.
They're doing some stuff. I can't control every week what time they get.
I understand.
They're
sitting here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just sitting right here.
Just sitting.
Oh,
And
and
then
then in the
they're
parking lot?
cornering, yeah, and then they're cornering me for a half hour talking to me.
Oh, Terry?
Yes.
He's harmless.
I know,
But he's saying he's getting everything done and he's,
but then he's
That-
wasting a lot of time and then
Yeah, I
I find out
understand
he's
that, yeah.
cornering some of my police officers, taking their time.
Terry is like a farm cat. The
Oh,
more
I
you
know,
pet him.
and I'm not judging him by
We just
that,
want
but
your crews using their time efficiently too, if we're gonna expand the hours,
Yeah.
interrupt the neighborhood.
well, it's talking to people. Yeah, the reason I asked the question is
Yeah.
twofold. One,
Right.
if they're already here at 6:30 and working or not,
yeah.
we're only talking about a half hour. You know what I'm saying? To make it a little more palatable for you or for us to look at. We're only saying, well, it's really only a half hour from what he's doing now.
Yeah.
But then the other reason for the ask is because if we move it to 6, are they gonna be here at 5:30?
No,
Okay, you know, you see what I'm saying? We're using 7 now and we're here at 6:30.
right.
And if
And what they are supposed to be doing is collecting some trash up by Bird's Family Practice and that. And then they're supposed to be in this area at 7 o'clock. But not everybody listens. What? So, yeah,
okay,
but I definitely get where you're coming from,
Yeah.
110%.
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna, if you guys let us do this at 6, we'll be here at 6. They might be at Casey's at 5:50 getting a pop, but, or taking a break, a restroom break. But I will make sure that.
Yeah, that's just, like I said, it's a twofold. It's like, they're already here at 6:30. 6 o'clock isn't as big a difference as going from 7 to 6. But also if it's 6 o'clock, now we move it to 5:30.
Right, and I think
And
part
then
of
people
that.
aren't gonna get their stuff picked up.
Part of that is they're very, how do I say this? They want to get their job done. They don't want to call me and say, hey, I can't make landfill. So I just showed up, but they shouldn't be. And
I think that
I
sounds
will
like
definitely have a
more-
talk with them tomorrow morning.
I think it sounds like a more of a communication issue. If we see that on a regular basis, we need to communicate back.
Communicate it back to me
Right.
and I will nip it in the bud.
That's what it sounds like to me.
So,
Ross, do you think it's roughly 150 properties that are affected before?
I would
7?
say I'd call it 100 homes.
Okay.
Yeah, because we knew about 110 homes an hour, 110, 100.
The only other comment I've heard, and we talk about the wind, but people say taking their trash out in the evening because it's gonna be so early in the morning and then it has 8, 9 hours of wind blowing it over.
Right, and then
I'm concerned about that.
the other bonus around, this area here, it's kind of secluded a little bit by the trees and stuff, Yeah.
It's not.
I mean, so the wind can go.
Across the street?
Across the street and then you go down into Culbridge or,
Oh, down over on
Yeah,
Willow and that
yeah,
area.
down the cul-de-sacs. That's what I'm talking.
Yeah.
Not just.
Over here, not straight across the over
Yeah.
here.
I don't
It does
know,
dip down.
I don't know if you're aware, but we are gonna be putting a survey out
Okay,
to the citizens just to get some feedback on this.
okay.
Do we want to do that?
I mean, it's your decision, but
I'm just thinking that we're gonna get a response back of 50-50 and then what we do.
Or
We're gonna.
25 responses.
Right, and then we're gonna have to make the decision anyway. Obviously.
I think it's still important. I mean, this affects people setting out their trash the night before. And this was discussed at a council meeting or a work session that we wanted to do the survey. So that's why we put it together.
I don't remember the survey
we did.
discussion.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know, I'm just wondering out loud, should we be more targeted? Should we?
I feel like if you take a look around tonight even,
there's a lot
you're
of
gonna
trash.
see it's more than 50% of houses already have theirs
Yeah.
out.
I just drove through over here and there was quite a few.
I took
I
mine
mean,
out
ours is
before I came
out
up
if
here,
we remember.
but I don't.
Otherwise in the morning, we're like, oh, no, the neighbors.
I
Yeah, so don't go to my house first.
I took mine out right before I came up here, but it's not windy, on windy days,
Yeah.
I don't.
But I think the automatic cans with the lids made a big difference on that.
They're heavier, they're bigger, so that's helping.
I see no harm in still doing the survey, whether it comes back 50-50 or we get 25 responses. I mean,
This one.
here's the side of it, if you wanna look at it from we're always, and not just us, other governments are not being transparent.
Yeah.
And this at least gives us, hey, we had the survey out there.
A voice.
Yeah. I mean, if it comes overwhelmingly back one way or another, I mean, is that a mandate? I mean, is that? I don't see. the
But
harm.
it's gonna come to a point that eventually we're gonna have to make a decision, whether it's this time around or 2 years down the road.
Yeah.
That as we
Especially
grow,
Properties.
it's gonna have to happen.
Right.
And now you're putting a survey out to the entire town when it's only gonna affect 110 people.
But the trucks are in town.
How wouldn't it
mean,
not? It's gonna affect the first 110 stops where we're.
People are still gonna set their trash out the night before. I mean, we can't, and this is me, we can't specifically say birds, willow,
your
whatever.
time is 6 o'clock,
Right.
everyone else is set.
Correct, but we're gonna notify the customers by putting those,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's great. Just,
but. I guess
I just think we should move forward with the survey. I'm not saying
We won't.
that'll be a deciding factor, but it gets us information. And also, that's our job, is to listen
Yep.
to the citizens.
Agreed.
And I think this is a way to listen. outside of, I heard, you heard, this is what I think. This will be direct information.
Kind of,
Kind of,
because we don't know where these people live.
correct.
Right.
So we have no idea if they're residents or not.
There anything that says that they are Piasta residents or?
I don't know.
Unless
how-
they can
I don't
put
know
in
how
their
it's set
address.
up.
Yeah, I don't know how Shawnee's got it set up, but we can certainly,
We could ask them to put their address in as part of the survey so
Yeah.
that we can have a better idea.
That it's not anonymous. People that want.
harmless, it's a garbage pickup.
I know, you think that.
So,
I don't know, I just think we're put in a position to make a decision. And I know we want to listen to people, but I don't know what the survey is gonna solve if we get 25 respond.
And it may, and.
And it's all, if it's 25 people responding and it's all no. Well, what happened to the other? Whatever the amount of homes that are out here that just didn't respond because they, whatever. I just don't know what that's gonna tell us.
Well, they may tell us nothing. That's, but like I said, if nothing else, we've at least tried to have input. And I mean,
It doesn't do any damage.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna damage anything. I can't say that it's gonna make a decision for us, but I don't think it hurts anything.
Comes back with 100% no, and then we decide to do it, then it.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Correct.
What if 25
That's the
people,
damage.
what if 25 people come and say no, and then we decide, you know what, this is still,
Then you know it's 25 people.
Well, then you can say it's you know, that
Wasn't
math is
represented.
an insignificant percentage. You know,
Fair enough.
I just feel like we're opening ourselves up to something that should be a non-issue into an issue. That's the last thing I say, but, okay, we're gonna do a survey, but that's my thoughts.
any other questions for Austin? Thanks, Austin.
When,
We are not making a decision tonight.
when does that survey
Sir.
go?
Sir?
tomorrow.
And it's gonna be out for how long?
That's up to you. We can leave it out for 2 weeks. I think that's probably a good indicator to get 2 pickup cycles. Or we can leave it out for 3 weeks.
Like 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and then we could do it at that council meeting.
So looking at putting out the survey for 2 weeks. So do I need to get on a work session agenda for the next time so we can review this or?
I don't know if it's a work session or we can just, I mean, I guess we'll have
I
it
guess
on our.
I can be in touch with.
Yeah, just-
We'll discuss it, we have a good idea where we're at.
Yeah, and because we don't necessarily need to bring it back to a work session. I think for us, we can do it like through internal emails or whatever. We can kind of, if we have questions of you, we can get hold of you.
Yep, I just wanted to speak my piece.
Yeah.
Let you guys know why and how it's gonna work.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Just
Yeah.
FYI, that'll be an ordinance change, so we'll have to go through the public hearing process.
Oh.
So that's gonna delay it even more.
And the ordinance change.
Mhm. It's a
So
change.
which ordinance?
So City of Dubuque, they have refuse and recycling pickup in a separate ordinance. What would that entail?
An ordinance is an ordinance.
Correct.
So
What ordinance are we changing?
the nuisance ordinance, it's noise, so it's in there. And we actually have collection time pickup. And
Listed.
right, it's listed. It's a very specific time.
Okay, so you just have to change that time and then
And the
Right.
public hearing.
Then we
is
have to
not
notify
particular
in the
public hearing.
paper, we have to have public comment.
Perfect.
So it'll be,
So you're
Another
looking
probably
at
2
July
weeks.
1 probably before.
Perfect.
but just to let you know that it's not as simple as coming
Nope,
back
I
on
just-
27
No, just
and
here
ta-da, here's your answer.
here to be,
I
you
think
know,
we can have a decision by then.
discuss and just, we'll be in touch so we know where we're at,
I
okay?
got your
And
number.
I find out on those bus stops
Yes,
too, and the
that'd
time.
be huge. That'd be huge, and then we can ski.
Okay, so
Sounds
we'll
good.
keep that survey out there till Memorial Day. Okay?
Perfect. All right, thank you guys so
All right,
much.
thank you.
Thanks, Austin. Available land for development, I asked Annette to put this on. The PEDC brought to several companies are interested in, potentially moving to Piasta. And looking at property over, for Mikalakis's property over on the east side here. And I know we've had discussions internally mostly about, when we're talking about apartments. You know, we know we're gonna have the hotel over there. You know, I don't know. Do we want to somehow direct that we're not having another industrial park over there, or do we want to have an industrial park over there, or do we want to have a mix of some industry? I guess I just want to start the discussion on as we're getting inquiry for industrial type.
So Mayor, let me jump in
Yes,
here. So I was at the meeting actually.
Yeah.
And what was brought up was that there is one in particular business that would like to come to town that is storefrontish, service type business that might do some light assembly, light manufacturing. Okay, so storefront service thing, they might in the back do a little bit of, we didn't know if it was assembly or manufacturing.
Okay.
It's not necessarily, when I think of manufacturing, I think of in the industrial.
Right.
It didn't sound like it was that heavy.
Okay.
So right now, as it fits, as it sits, they would not be allowed there.
Talking like a packaging plant?
No, not a
You
plant.
have to request a variance to
Plan,
zoning,
but-
and we'd have to
Well,
That's where the.
we have to understand what it is.
that was my thought, was, okay, so we take, I don't even know what you put in there as light manufacturing, you have to define that then. Or you put, right, manufacturing is different than assembly, right? So what is that? So we would have to define what that is. Is that something of even of interest, or do we want to keep that area kind of reserved for businesses, storefronts, that does none of that? It's not, you know, this, what the business that they were talking about wasn't any of those down there. No, it would probably same type building, same size buildings that would be over there.
When you say it's store frontage-ish, what does that mean? The public come to get services there?
They could,
Yeah, so it might be a tweener kind of business.
right, it's a hybrid type of business that we don't really have addressed as far as I know.
Right.
And do we want to?
And that's the discussion today, so that's where, you know, I'm looking for input.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
I have two or three thoughts,
Yes.
as you might imagine.
Oh, hey, he said 2 or 3, that's been recorded.
It seems like if we expanded industrial use areas, we a little bit south of town, or the one that we have over on Call. And, you know, as we annex things in, we'd expand those areas. To me, that's more logical. Second one, you know, I feel like I'm a broken record, but I've been concerned about the amount of commercial
Yep.
space we have.
Yes.
Not for today, because commercials had a rough go for 4 or 5 years, but for the long term. And the housing study's coming back saying kind of the comparable is 6 to 8 or 6 to 9% of a community's land is for commercial, and we're at like 2. So it's a problem. So this, you know, getting that whole area for commercial and the potential to build something that's maybe Main Street-ish or something, I don't wanna forfeit that for a business that we don't really understand.
Well,
So,
I think we would understand that. I
Yeah.
think right now it's in a process of being.
Yeah.
I don't use the word secretive, but.
Yeah.
Names that can't be let out.
Sure.
Right, so.
I guess my opinion is preserve it for commercial. And so whatever that business is, it would compete under a commercial definition, or it'd make a zoning variance request, not knowing anymore. I don't want to end up with quasi things in
Sure.
areas we thought we were reserving for services to support the 4 to 6 to 7,000 people that are gonna live here in the next, you know, 20 years.
Right.
So that's my thought.
I agree with that.
Was there discussion
There-
about any other areas that they may be interested in within Piasta?
There was, but I think it switched, like, I think there was some area right back.
The
Lagoon.
lagoon sites, we have 43 acres over there. It's perfectly suited for that.
There you go.
But isn't that being built on?
Not yet.
Just that one possible.
Not yet or not?
Yeah, no plans have come to the city at this
We
point.
had the last discussion,
Okay.
That area,
yeah,
It's off of,
but it's,
it's by the lagoon,
yeah.
the new wastewater treatment plant.
So it's kind of expanding the existing industrial areas.
Does the business that you're talking about, John, like thrive on being a storefront?
Right.
I don't think so.
Mostly?
I don't think so. I
That's a critical
don't think so.
That makes.
I think they want the.
Like, if they didn't have like if customers didn't have easy access to it and they had to go to the industrial park, would that hurt them?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Like, I think like the Mighty M store,
Right.
you know, like,
Right.
you know it's there, right? Like, they can do services and things there, but it's
Right.
like,
A Goodwill kind of thing, or, those things for
yeah, okay.
not everybody.
Right.
I think our prime commercial area, we want to preserve for high traffic, high population movement kinds of services.
Right.
But, and I love it that businesses want to come to Piasta too, so let's just say that.
Yeah.
Out loud.
I don't think it is.
We absolutely want to understand it and see what we can accommodate.
The question was asked, and it was a very good question, is the difference between manufacturing and assembly. It could be two completely different things, right?
What's the difference between manufacturing and
Right,
assembly?
you're right, it could be two different things.
I don't, they could be. But a commercial space to me is something that has to be a storefront, a retail.
So I think you're still giving up the commercial if, for a business that does assembly. And I think
Can I just throw this out there?
storefront-
What if I assemble chairs? I have all the pieces brought in, I assemble chairs and I sell them on my storefront.
Is your storefront like your main?
I'm just throwing that out.
No, I know what
Those are
you're
the questions that came up,
Right, yeah.
that we didn't have answers for.
Yeah.
We don't know what the difference is.
Yeah. I think you're playing in hypotheticals on, would we be willing to change our zoning to fit this company? Not knowing what is this company. So
Right.
You can't do that.
And I don't think we're looking to, completely change the zoning. I think it would be, Board of Adjustments and,
More of.
It would go back
Yeah.
to planning and zoning.
but again, it would be
More of a-
making a separate case for this
Yeah.
company.
Yes,
And then we're gonna make a separate case for the next company that wants to. do it.
right, like this would be like,
Pinpointing zoning.
Yeah,
Correct.
your spot zoning.
Which we have said we don't really want to do.
We don't really want to do, and I think it's still not, to me, that's still not commercial, I guess. To me, commercial is general public. You're not gonna go, if you build chairs, these chairs, general public's not coming to your place to buy chairs.
Right.
You have a showroom.
okay, difference showroom versus storefront.
Yeah, I think that's kind of more what you're talking about is a showroom
Okay.
than a
Get
storefront.
behind that, yeah.
Yeah, because I think what our thoughts, and I guess I won't speak for everyone, but a commercial area is, I live in Piasta and I will frequent this commercial building.
Kind of more of an amenity for the community.
Yeah, I think that's the thought behind reserving property and keeping it
That's
from
fair.
going.
Yeah,
Fair.
yeah.
And it kind of goes back to the conversation that planning and zoning had Monday, future land usage and
That's
and
exactly
bringing
what it
in
is.
that community heart and soul data, the housing study data. And I think, we've got our goal setting coming up in July. So I think the stars are really aligning
Perfect.
perfectly to put all this information together. And maybe it'll help, I think it's gonna give us some real definitive answers too.
Are they selling
Confidence in what
cocktails perhaps? Now, that's something we could get behind. Anyway, so I guess just keep me thinking about that, this is gonna come up more and more. I don't know if the prospective company it was discussed with them from PEDC to look at other properties in the city, or if it was exclusively here only.
It can be good feedback to give back to them. so.
Yeah.
No, I think there was conversation between different locations. I think there was.
Yeah.
I think this was just a preferred location.
Sure, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Anyone else got anything else they'd like to bring up?
Robin?
This is gonna seem very off topic. This might be a deep thing. Have you all been on the trail and the side that has the massive slope? What about signage? Are people allowed to bikes on there? I see an accident waiting to happen. Should there be a sign that there's a big
Like a
slope
4% grade
something?
coming up.
It is
Picture of somebody.
wildly steep. And I just think a little kid is gonna take a bike and we're gonna have a giant accident over there. Can you all take a walk on that trail and then come back and tell me what you think? Yeah, if you don't mind, it needs some, yeah.
I've walked on it.
We actually talked about that during the parks meeting.
No, I
The
understand.
last one about if we know what's allowed on there and we
I
basically
would be
just
really
came up with
cautious. I'm
no
really
motorized.
concerned about a kid on a bike. Definitely hand out all the helmets. So Mike and I walked that, we're almost like, we almost need a rail. That's a steep thing, so it almost needed to be like switchbacked or something, but I'm very concerned about
Start the other way
liability.
and then go up.
Well, we know now. But if it's your first time and you're on a bike,
Surprise.
we might need more ambulance service, so. That's off topic. I didn't
No,
expect you to
that's
say something about housing, but if y'all can check into that, that'd be great.
So just for knowledge for
Yeah.
you, this is what work sessions are for. You can talk about anything.
Great,
Yeah.
wonderful. I don't know, is that a dean issue? Or is that
That's a
an
park
issue? Okay. I just heard you put signs up, so I felt like maybe a sign, I don't know, so.
That's good for.
Well, we're looking forward to giving data to all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great working relationship and, you know, hearing everyone's voices is wonderful and being at these different sessions has been amazing to see how it all works and it's great.
I'll put in 2 comments about the housing study. It's a thick document. It's like 60 pages. So if you have time to look through it before next Tuesday, when we go through it as a council, we'll ask Dan Fox better questions. But that's just my.
He is supposed to be sending me tomorrow an
Yeah.
updated, based on the conversation.
Probably not
I'll
gonna be
get it.
substantially different after the discussion this morning.
The final there's not gonna be, like Brian said, substantial
There's
changes.
a lot of data in there.
Yeah.
And
You really have to read it.
it's deep, meaty, but.
And his recommendations at the end really aligned with a lot of the data that we're receiving, which is great. So for me to have received this data and then see that today, I was like, yes, do that.
And then with planning and zoning Monday, and then
Yeah.
now our goal setting in
And it's
July.
also
Fascinating.
not aligned with the prior comprehensive plan. It's
No.
really continuing on that vein, maybe we've grown faster than the last comprehensive plan suggested, but it's kind of the same theme.
Just a little.
Yeah, and Brian
That was
had a good point with one of the biggest things coming up from community, but number 1 and 2 are safety. They love the police presence. Everyone loves the cops driving through the neighborhoods, just being around. That was a huge thing, but the number 1 thing was small town feel. But they want a small town feel. They do want it to grow, but they are missing, where does everyone gather? Where is the city center? Where's the commercial where you wanna walk down, go to the Mexican restaurant, do this, and make it walkable. So where are the trails, where are the sidewalks? Those are probably the main things that came up. A huge shout out. Safety was huge. A lot of really good comments about that, so.
Excellent.
And that can't be a goal of yours, okay?
More safetyness.
Don't throw your big insurance.
Brothers decides he wants to throw all them cameras up.
Oh,
Safe,
Wait
we feel safe, and they want it to stay that way.
yeah.
Every time he shows up.
Really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
Appreciate you at every meeting.
Small town field cameras. Oh, wait, whoops.
Is that a bird? No.
Camera.
We can make it look like.
More birds. Yeah, less birds.
Yes.
Luckily, there's so many birds for not that many trees.
I was just
I mean,
gathering
really,
some
if you think
information
about
on the land, so I'm just listening.
I had baseball practice, I snuck in late, I apologize.
Good. It's on the agenda, was just curious.
We got somebody online if they have anything that they would like to say.
Hello, online.
Oh, they hung up.
No. Realize I'm here. All right. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.